We're not doing very well at this, are we, Medora? All I will say is that if you've never seen the original Lion King animation for whatever reason, do not watch this live action remake first, please. So this is quite a difficult review for me to be doing, not just because my opinions are quite conflated, but because The Lion King is my childhood. I probably saw this film over 100 times. I watched it once every week for a good chunk of my childhood. It's one of those films that, even though I don't watch it that much as an adult because I cry, and I don't like films that make me cry, it will always just be part of who I am. As such, I was very nervous about a Lion King live action remake, but actually I have a lot of positive things to say about this film, much to what I was not expecting. However, I will point out a few negative things, and we'll start with the negative things first so I can get them off my chest, and then we can get on to the positives. So the main thing that irritated me with this film, and this is purely if I'm reviewing it as a remake. If I were to review the film as a standalone film, which is not a remake, and I will, this wouldn't be an issue. But for me, there are a lot of key phrases, key sentences, and key ways that the characters say things in the animation that don't necessarily come across as well in the remake. And that's despite the fact that it is largely, though not entirely, scene for scene. I actually feel grateful for that. I was concerned that they would do it completely differently, but actually you could, I believe, put the two films side by side and see a lot of things that were going on. Having said that, and this will contain spoilers, maybe not so many spoilers for the remake itself, but if you've never seen The Lion King, there will absolutely definitely be spoilers in this. Having different voices is understandable, but for me that is something that is quite difficult to deal with, particularly because I hear Simba as Matthew Broderick. Also Zazu just didn't feel like Zazu to me. He didn't really have that much of a role. I think he was in maybe like 4 scenes. And having these characters saying the same lines but in different voices is really uncomfortable to watch. But again, had I not been a massive die-hard fan of The Lion King in my childhood, that understandably would not be a problem. And as I previously mentioned, a lot of it is kind of scene for scene. You know what's coming, you know what the next shot is going to look like, or you can have a pretty good guess. However, there are a couple of bits, as I said, spoilers. We don't get to see Pumbaa in a hula skirt. That bit is understandably taken out because this is live action, real warthog, not meant to wear a hula skirt. So it's a little bit more realistic in that sense, but this bit really tickled me. In this song, in Hakuna Matata, they say, and he got downhearted every time that I hit Pumbaa, not in front of the kids. Oh, drop. Hakuna Matata. But in this one, they actually say the word farted. And I think that's the only thing about this film where it feels like it's been updated. Because I think in the beginning of the 90s, that just wouldn't have gone down well. But we're more acclimatised to that kind of things in children's films nowadays, and if they want to say, and I got downhearted every time that I farted, as Pumbaa does, it tickled me because I wasn't expecting it. So in that sense, particularly in that song, there are some new animals and just a little bit to keep us on our toes. So the narrative is identical. What about the songs? I haven't factually checked this, but I feel like there were fewer songs in this than in the animation. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but it feels like it. I have a couple of complaints, but I have a couple of positives. I feel like, okay, the introduction with all the animals, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Circle of Life, amazing. Can You Feel the Love Tonight was a beautiful piece. And although I prefer the animation version because I prefer the voice of Timon and Pumbaa, it was stunning. Hakuna Matata was actually better. Maybe not visually, but there were a lot more creatures involved in this song. And the other thing that I was like, okay, they're going to do the bit where they swing from the vines or whatever it is. And then I thought, actually, there's no way that that vine would take that lion's weight. So that bit wasn't included. I did start to question, though, how Simba managed to live for so long without eating meat, being a carnivore. I'm not going to question that. The one song that I had a massive issue with is one of my favourite Disney songs of all time, and that's Be Prepared. It's a beautiful, powerful song, and it's terrifying when you have the shadows of all the hyenas walking along, and it's fiery and green and dark, and Scar is menacing, and it terrified me as a child, and I love it. Very much underplayed in this film, and that did disappoint me. Oh, also, be our guest. What on earth? Like, what's that doing in there? I got a little bit confused, but also it kind of really made me smile. And I think that's a substitute for You Can Be a Big Pig Too, or whatever the song is called in the original. Also, Zazu didn't sing Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, and there are a couple of other moments that I really love from the original that were not in this. But that didn't detract from how the narrative developed. I think it still worked. So the big question is, did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. Did I cry? Yes, I did. Did I think it was better than the original? Of course not. Absolutely not. It never will be. And that's why, one of the reasons why I say, if you haven't seen The Lion King, the original animation, for any reason, please watch that first. That is pure Disney magic. This feels like it could be done by any other studio. It's very good, visually compelling. The songs that are in it, subject to a couple of them, are really good. The narrative is great. The characters, I feel like Sarabi could have been in it a little bit more, but generally speaking, the characters have very similar personality traits. It's very recognisable, but it's lacking a tiny bit of Disney magic. We only get to really see a bit of that Disney spark, I feel, through Timon and Pumbaa. But apart from that, if I took it on its own, not as a remake, but as this new film about a lion, yeah, it's entertaining, it's emotional, it's a great journey from start to finish. If it wasn't comparative, I'd say it excelled pretty well.